Next up is Robinhood's IPO. It's going to be a wild ride on the New York Stock Exchange very soon. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Tech Path. Let's dive into it today. Of course, we all know, and you either love or maybe you hate the idea of Robinhood. Robinhood, of course, has been on the front page of just about every newspaper out there for the past year. All starting really kind of with the little bit of a scenario they ran into, of course, with the GameStop stock. And that, I think, started to create a little bit of turmoil, but maybe in the long run ended up being a good thing for Robinhood in the sense of, one, exposure, two, being able to fix some of the problems that they were going to need to fix and be ready for what was and is now the big leagues. And we're going to dive into it today. Just from Market Watch here quickly, they had a nice little piece on some of the things, it's just straightforward. Here's the cool part of it. Big disclosures in their IPO filing. This is a thing that I think a lot of people were really, one, surprised with, but at the same time, also, I think some people may have expected some of this kind of growth, but the word growth is mentioned 217 times in their S1 filing. I mean, this goes back to the WeWork thing, their whole idea of where they were going. I don't reference this as WeWork because this IPO is going to happen for sure, versus WeWork's did not. 18 million users at the end of March, which was a 107% year-over-year increase. I think that's going to continue to see some climb. And of course, this was mirrored by its ballooning revenue, which grew 311%. You can kind of see the numbers right here from their Q1 19 to 20 and now to 21. That is some big growth for this particular company. All right, so I like the fact that when you see companies like Robinhood and you move into this space, they are really trying things differently. They're trying the whole trading concept differently. They're obviously their play with cryptocurrency is done differently than the typical exchange model. And I think that's a good strategy because it does start to decentralize, I want to use that word, decentralize kind of their base. In other words, they're probably attracting crypto enthusiasts that maybe aren't stock enthusiasts and vice versa. That could be going after stock enthusiasts that don't want anything to do with crypto. And of course, that's coming over from the traditional, stock exchanges that we are already dealing with, whether you're a Schwab or a TD or, a Fidelity user, whatever it might be. A lot of this movement is definitely happening. Now, let's jump over here to their IPO. This was something that, again, too, assets under custody have ballooned 80 billion from 19.2 billion. So that's a ton in terms of what they're controlling of their customers' money, which I think is going to be a big factor, especially around cryptocurrency. And then this is a good point too. Unlike many recent IPOs, they were profitable, which is a lot of IPOs who go out, typically, will not even see profit for many years. So that's the biggest thing. And of course, the other thing is the brokerage lost 1.4 billion in the first quarter. In 2021 tied to the emergency fundraising. This goes back to my point earlier about GameStop trading mania that they had. That was a big hit on them. But I do think, again, it's going to be one of those things that was a great and very expensive learning lesson. But I don't think this is going to be something we'll see on a constant and ongoing basis. So they did generate 522 million in revenue, which we talked about a little bit earlier. And, obviously that's up. Here's what surprises me a little bit is the brokerage only aims to raise 100 million in public debut. So a little bit light, I think, in terms of when you look at the overall valuation of what this company could roll out as, and that's pretty low. In its prospectus, the company also said it's grown in its funded accounts, which also have bank accounts linked to them, which is 18 million in March of this year, up from 7.2 million in 2020, which was a 151% increase. That's pretty significant. Also, they plan to allocate between 20 and 35% of its IPO shares to its retail customers. So if you're Robinhood, you're going to get a little bit of an early play. And I think that's going to be a very interesting thing. So if you haven't signed up for a Robinhood account, now's the time to do it. I think this is going to be one of those things that really starts to perform for many of those. Stock trading company also collected around 331 million in payments for order flow. This is how they make money. And a lot of people maybe in the beginning didn't understand what order flow is, but essentially this is where their money is coming from. I still do not understand how they're making money on crypto with no fees, other than if they're getting money on the float. That's the only way this can be happening. Because of majority revenue of transaction, including payment order flow, reduced spreads and security pricing, reduced levels of trading activity generally will change business relationships. Here's the thing with this is if we see a correction in the market, and it's likely that we could see one, whether it's late this year or on into next year, that's going to have a direct impact, especially around order flow to Robinhood. So you've got to be aware of those kind of things when you are dealing with a platform like this in terms of what that valuation is going to be. The other thing you have to watch out for is really Robinhood's connection to Doge. And Doge is one of those, the cryptocurrency, because maybe you searched on this because of Robinhood and you've never invested in cryptocurrency. Number one thing you can do right now, subscribe to the channel, because this is the channel that we talk about not only cryptocurrency, but a lot of this new age tech that kind of moves forward. But I want to jump to this article here from the New York Post on Robinhood warns it could be hurt if interest in Doge wanes. Now, we're currently doing an analysis right now, and I hope to get this to you on a Doge video soon, of the Robinhood investor as it relates to Doge. And if you look at this right here and revealing its financials for the first time while filing to go public, basically they said Doge accounted for 34% of its cryptocurrency transaction. That's obviously massive for one coin, even though it's a meme coin. And this is, and it was up again, over the first quarter. So if this Doge model slows down, then that money is going to obviously disappear quickly if that meme coin starts to see some trouble. And you got two routes that can happen here. Now, you've got the route of Robinhood goes public, they get exposure and another marketing push, which opens people up to cryptocurrency and up to Doge. Or you get the Doge army really moving out there and kind of propagating this, and this only accelerates their interest in Doge. And all of this could be a positive. And of course, the negative is that Doge just gets a little softer, and we continue to see that fall down. So when you look at kind of the numbers here, Dogecoin reached its peak in early May of 73%, which was basically cheered on by notable supporters, including Tesla, Elon Musk. So I think Elon still is a little bit of a troll in this scenario when it comes to Doge. I think he knows that. And, it's interesting. He just put out a tweet. What was it? He did Baby Shark with Doge. On Twitter, of course, and of course, he's got a new young child, so he's getting to learn all of those great new nursery rhymes. But the point is he still has Doge on his mind, and I just wonder if he's continuing to play the troll game with where Doge is going. I don't think that Doge is going to have a long-term effect, but you never know. Sometimes these meme coins, if you get enough social interest, could absolutely blow up, and if it does, Robinhood is going to be set for a nice cryptocurrency profit center that's going to go into their first quarter of earnings after they're a publicly traded company, which is going to be interesting to watch. So, all right, so I want to kind of compare this a little bit to Coinbase and where their market cap is. As you can see right here, 50.7 billion. This is a little bit down from their initial offering, but actually they're holding on. That's the 1 day. Let's go look at their 1 month performance. You can kind of see they've responded a little bit. Here's their 6 months. So you can see right here where they opened. If you didn't get burned on Coinbase, good for you. Unfortunate for me, because I was in on Coinbase early. And we got to pay the price on that one. So a lot of times I don't get it right here all the time on TechPath, that's for sure. But I am still interested. You have to look at some of these projects and some of these stocks and IPOs very carefully. And Coinbase and Robinhood have a lot of similarities. So there is a little bit of caution here. If you are looking at this, remember, this is one of our market movers where we pull all this stuff together. This is not investment advice. We're not telling you to go out and buy Robinhood. The key here is I want you to go do a whole lot of research, and hopefully this is the jumping off point for you in terms of finding out whether or not you should invest. I'm a little bit skeptical that Robinhood opens and goes out of the chute with a big climb. I feel like they may do a Coinbase retro here, and that is open big and fall, but stabilize. And I do think that will come. The key here is you're going to need to watch what's happening in the cryptocurrency space very closely because it is tied to them. Maybe not as much from a profitability standpoint, but it does have a certain amount of their profit that's important. But more importantly, it has a marketing play. And the marketing play is the biggest play for Robinhood in terms of their success and whether or not they make it into a hot, high-flying IPO. If you're listening in over on the podcast, make sure and give us some stars over there. If you're here on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel. It's the #1 way you can help us. You want to reach me, hit me up on Twitter. It's just @Paul Barron. I'll catch you next time right here on Tech Path.